So we're in the run-up to Mobile World Congress 2020. I'm here with George Jijiashvili. He is from Omdia, which is the name for the new analyst group at Informatech that's basically comprising what was Ovum and the IHS Market technology teams and a few more analysts put together. But Omdia is the new name. You are an Omdia analyst now, George, and you're heading to MWC, right? You're going to Barcelona?
That's right.
Okay.
I'll be there.
Excellent. So what your area of expertise is basically gaming. And we were chatting before and you said gaming might not necessarily be a topic that people would naturally associate with MWC. But boy, has that changed in the past few years, hasn't it?
Definitely. Particularly last year, there was a big push from operators to, get involved in this space. So with gaming, seeing a lot of activity around 5G and cloud gaming. And also, interestingly, esports is becoming a very interesting topic for telcos.
Okay, so let's talk a bit about cloud gaming, because that's a topic that's come to the fore in lots of different ways. We talk about edge computing capabilities and 5G as well, and a lot of the big names have started to push their services around cloud gaming. So what are the big talking points there?
So there has been a renaissance of cloud gaming recently. You might remember about 7 years ago, cloud gaming was made big news. There was a big splash of it, but it kind of disappeared because in many ways the companies who were there before, guys like OnLive, they didn't have the capabilities, the edge capabilities. The public cloud wasn't really prevalent. So there were many things which led to its demise. But now, from about last year, we've seen this resurgence of interest in cloud gaming, and with big shot companies, like Microsoft and Google, really gearing up for this new generation of gaming. It's really got everyone else talking about this, and rightly so, telcos, they know that they have a big role to play in this. Okay. So many of them are exploring this.
Okay. So how can telcos play a role in this market? Because they don't want to miss this opportunity, right?
Exactly. It's a huge opportunity, and how they can get involved in this is that cloud gaming works simply by users connecting to a data center where Microsoft or Google is running servers, processing these games, and is kind of shooting that back to your device. Yeah. But that sounds simple, but actually, as you know, it's not very simple, because not only it's a video, it's a dual input mechanic where you have to input your controllers into the game, and the video kind of comes back to you. So there's a lot of things in between the user, and the server that can go wrong, and it does go wrong. Yeah. So where telcos can really make a big difference is become that link that links the end server to the end user.
Okay, so cloud gaming. This is something that can happen within the environments of a building, where you might be using hanging off the end of fixed broadband and in a Wi-Fi 6 or in-building connectivity environment. But in particular, at MWC, the conversation is likely to hinge around: is this some kind of use case for 5G? So what's the story there, and what will telcos need in their armory to be able to deliver? You've brought some toys with you here today, which is great. But what will the telcos need to say, hey, we can deliver this because we can deliver the connectivity? They obviously, in their marketing, they won't want to be mentioning things like latency and jitter, because that will blow people's minds. But we can deliver the connectivity you need for a good user experience with 5G, but also you will need what? What kind of things? Just a smartphone or specialist devices?
So great thing with cloud gaming is that it's device agnostic. So whereas previously, or rather currently, if you want to play games, you have to download it to your device, be that a smartphone or a games console like the Nintendo Switch or PlayStation or Xbox. What the beauty of cloud gaming is that, as long as it can receive video and you can put some inputs through it, that can potentially be a way for you to experience premium gaming. And the reality is that unless you're getting a really good internet connection with low latency, the experience you're going to get on cloud gaming is it's not going to be great. And I've had my fair share of those.
Sure
you can you can get away with buffering on when watching video. That's fine. That's acceptable. But with gaming, it has to be. If there's any latency, it throws you off. It makes it really not fun.
Okay.
And so, for example, I've been testing, cloud gaming. So what I've been testing is the Xbox's xCloud service, which is still in beta, and I've tried on numerous different ways. At the moment, Wi-Fi is the most reliable way to do it. On 4G, it's just not. It just doesn't really work because the latency and jitter is just too much for it to be an enjoyable experience.
Yep.
So this is where 5G comes in really. And at MWC, we're going to see a lot and lots of demos involving 5G and lots of comparisons, probably the two different devices next to each other, one running on 4G and 5G, showing what the difference will be. So expecting a lot of those there.
Okay, excellent. Cloud gaming, big topic. Another big topic that I expect you're going to be talking to people about, and again, in terms of how mobile operators can get involved, is esports.
Mm-hmm. So esports is still a very small but fastly growing category within gaming. And again, this is an area that the telcos are turning around and saying, wait, so this is a great way for us to engage very young audience, very loyal audience to their influencers, their gamers, and yes, and we're already seeing early moves. Likes of AT&T and Telefonica, Deutsche Telekom, they're already investing quite a bit into esports. Be that basically building their own league, competitive league, to get the amateurs and professionals involved. Sponsorships. They have big events where you have where the winners can win hundreds of thousands of euros or dollars. So all this is just a great way for operators to, as I said, attract this younger demographic who is very engaged. They're early adopters. This is, I think, is a huge opportunity for them.
Okay. So, I mean, with cloud gaming and esports, all sound it's very compelling, very exciting. But, somewhere within the mobile operators will be a CFO asking the question, how are we going to make money out of this? When are we going to make money out of this? Are those discussions happening yet, or are we still at the excitement over the toys phase?
We're definitely in the excitement stage right now. And I mean, the reality is that both cloud gaming and esports are a very small part of the broader video games industry. I mean, over the next 5 years, cloud gaming revenue will only represent about 5% of the total 160 billion video games market.
Okay.
So it's going to be small. It's going to build slowly because there's still many things we're still figuring out: the business model, the technology, and how it's all going to be distributed. How content
5G coverage will be required.
5G coverage.
So watch South Korea. Is South Korea a good market to watch to see how things might develop?
South Korea is an excellent market to. It's like a crystal ball, really, in that a view into the future. For example, with esports, we believe that they're about 3 years ahead of everyone else in esports. Okay. They're really advanced in terms of what they're doing in this space. Okay. And finally, I just wanted to kind of highlight that with cloud gaming, the reason why it's so compelling, it goes back to the device agnostic point that I made earlier. Yeah. Because the game consoles and PCs, obviously, they have been the primary way to experience premium games. But they're in about three years in total, there will be about 250 million game consoles installed base worldwide. Okay. If you compare that to how many smartphones there will be, about 5 billion plus, about 1.5 billion of smart TVs, and even more, smart and connected STBs and tablets. Okay. All these are potentially where consumers can access premium gaming, and this is why it's so exciting for operators.
Excellent. So just to close out today, can you just talk us? You brought a couple of things along with you here today, which is fantastic. Can you just tell us a little bit for the uninitiated like me, and if you can hold that up so we can.
I brought along Nintendo Switch, so this is Nintendo's latest console.
Okay.
So this is a hybrid, so you can use this as a handheld device, or you can dock it at home and enjoy it on your big screen.
Okay.
They've done extremely well with this. This is the fastest selling console of this current generation. They've sold 50 million of these already in less than 3 years.
Okay.
So very impressive. They turned the company around on the back of some mishaps of the previous generation with the Wii U. So they're doing really, really interesting stuff with this. Again, before this came along, it was pretty much a given. It was a perceived idea that handheld consoles are dead, because we all have our smartphones, which we can access thousands of games on this device. We thought there was no space for this, but actually they've shown that if you've got the right content, and if you get the user experience right, and make that the ability to take gaming anywhere you go, requiring no connectivity, funnily enough, has also been another one. So if you're on a plane, on a train, doesn't matter if you're not getting 4G, 5G, you're getting a gaming.
If you're near Clapham Junction.
Exactly. So there's all these really interesting things happening in the space, and console makers, including Xbox's controller I'm using to connect to my phone, they all realize that they have to really think about on what's going to happen in the next 5-10 years. We think that this generation of consoles, new Xbox and new PlayStation, are coming out this year. So it's really exciting if you're a gamer this year.
Right.
So you have this choice of amazing consoles hitting the market. But when you look beyond that, so what's the next stage after that? And, all roads kind of lead to cloud gaming. And this is why Microsoft with Xbox, they've been investing in cloud gaming. They've got a cloud gaming service, xCloud, coming out this year. And you also have Nintendo. They've also been testing cloud gaming services in Japan. Sony with PlayStation has been offering a cloud gaming service since 2014. So they've been in this game longer than many of the others.
Okay.
So, and all these, and they're all acknowledging that, yes, cloud gaming is a threat to their existing hardware-based business model, but they all acknowledge that there is a much bigger fish to fry in the future, because they'll be able to take their content and deliver it to people who haven't got the Xbox, who haven't got PlayStation. Yeah. So they can reach a much broader audience and therefore grow their business.
They don't need to be the next Kodak, basically.
No.
They can avoid that. Okay, excellent. And finally, just to wrap up, when you're in Barcelona, George, what is your food of choice? What's your number one go-to in the evening? You're hungry. You've been at the show.
Ooh.
You need to eat. What's your go-to?
There
food?
is a lovely family-run Japanese place, which
Alrighty.
I'm not going to give it away.
That's
because
fine.
I want to keep that to myself. I don't want to go there and it's being packed and no. So there's a lovely family-run Japanese place, which I know it's so not Spanish, but I love it.
Great, you're going Japanese in Barcelona. Fantastic.
Exactly.
Excellent. George, great to talk to you. Fascinating to hear about that market, and look forward to see. After Mobile World Congress, what you've heard, what you think, and what your updated analysis of the market is. So thanks very much.
Cheers, Ray.